Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, what is the solution set to the inequality below? 6x minus 8 less than 12x plus 10. So we're looking for the solution set, right? Okay, and they're giving us the inequality. So my advice is just kind of like ignore that symbol for the inequality and just work it out with the same steps as if you were going to be doing solving for an equation, right? There's only one little difference on dividing and multiplying with a negative number when it comes to inequalities, okay? So just keep that in mind in case that we come across that. Other than that, very much the same thing then solving for an equation, okay? So let's go ahead and start with my variables, right? If you notice, this one has variables on both sides. So my advice is you gotta move the variables to the same side. I will always say move the variables to be on the left because in that way you don't need to be rewriting it or nothing like that, okay? So I am gonna subtract 12x's on both sides, right? Okay, so 6x minus 12x gives me a negative 6x minus 8 less than, of course, my 12 cancels, 12x cancels, and I have a 10, right? So now it's looking better because my variable, it's only on one side. Okay, so notice how here my variables were on both sides, and now it's just on one side. Okay, so that's pretty good, right? So what I need to do next, I need to make sure that my variable stays by itself. Solve for x, right? So we're going to say over here, solve for x. So that minus 8, I need to get rid of that one. So I am going to say plus 8 on both sides. Okay? And of course, my 8 is going to cancel. And I have only negative 6x less than 10 plus 8 is 18, right? So now I see that I need to get rid of the negative 6. Is that right? So I am going to need to divide because the negative 6 is multiplying and the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I need to divide by a negative 6. Now, when I divide by a negative number, okay, let me show it over here, right? I'm dividing by a negative number. Then I'm going to need to do something to my sign that is right here. Anybody remembers what do we do with this sign? We are going to need to flip the sign, right? And I'm going to rewrite it over here. And again, we flip the sign or we switch the sign because we are dividing by a negative number. Okay, so that's one of the rules that you need to remember, right? So when multiplying or dividing, that's what I said earlier. Remember when I first started? When multiplying or dividing by negative numbers, and of course I am kind of like abbreviating a lot, right? Okay, so when multiply or dividing by negative numbers, right, we have to switch the sign. And of course, we mean the inequality sign, right? Now, this one is only true for inequalities, okay? Not for equations, okay? So my negative 6 divided by a negative 6 cancels, or it becomes a 1, right? But I don't need to write down the 1. So this will be x, and 18 divided by a negative 6 is going to be a negative 3. And that will be my answer. So let's look at the answer choices. And that's my solution, right? Okay, and that will be letter C. Very good.